Hey everyone, my name is Distanced, and today I'm happy to be collaborating with Paradox Interactive to bring you a tutorial on providing nuclear power to your cities. You may have seen some of my videos over on my channel where I build different portions of a complete city. In City Skylines, nuclear power is a form of renewable energy since it doesn't need a fuel source. This makes nuclear power plants a reliable and consistent source of energy for your cities. Before I begin the power plant, the first thing I want to establish is how large of a power plant we're going to be building. I like to think in terms of, is this something that was built to supply the city and the surrounding region, or is this for the national power grid? As with most builds, the best way to get prepared is to look at references on Google Maps and Google Earth. The power plant we'll be building today, I use the Pickering plant here in Ontario, as well as numerous power plants in Europe, such as the Dole plant in Belgium. These are great because they are mapped 3D structures, so you'll be able to make things out a bit better. Conveniently, we're going to be using the Dole nuclear power plant set by Ronix to build our plant today. It comes with a pre-assembled replica of the Dole plant, as well as individual modules which can be used to make your own plant. A full collection of the main mods and assets used in this tutorial will be found in the video's description. Once we know what we're building, you'll want to find a large enough flat space of land near a body of water. This is important because the next thing we'll be doing is building the canals. I like to start with the canals because it gives me a reference point to work off of. These are used to bring cooling water in for the reactors, as well as to dispose the warm wastewaters of the plant. There are many different designs out there, from systems using separate inlet and outlet canals to single canal systems. The general idea is to keep the inlet or pump for cooling water upstream from the outlet, since you don't want to be pumping in warmer water. For the canals, I find that using the vanilla shallow canals works well, but using keys or even Deheek's basic slope profiles are suitable as well. One of my favorite things to do is to hide a freshwater outlet at the beginning of the wastewater canal to give it some water flow. You'll definitely need the Move It and Fine Road Anarchy mods for this project, so again, the mods and assets will be linked in the description. Now there are generally 5 main buildings that you need to keep in mind: the reactors, turbine halls, cooling towers, logistics and administration, as well as the transformers. Generally, the reactors are directly adjacent to, or even a part of, the building housing the turbines and generators. Because of this, you'll usually see the main facility right next to the canal supplying coolant to the reactors. Feel free to play around with the different configurations. Here you can see I placed 2 of the big turbine halls next to each other, this middle building off to the right, and then 3 reactors along the turbine hall. But don't limit yourself. Try a few different ones out, and maybe create something unique. It is your city after all. Next, the cooling towers. Although a common number of these is 2, the amount of these is entirely dependent on your plant's cooling systems. Some may have 4 or more, while others won't have any at all. Place these close to your outlet where the cooled water will be released back into the water body. I like to use these smaller buildings as maintenance centers, as well as a few warehouses placed sparingly around the plant. These warehouses can contribute to both maintenance and logistics, while a few small office buildings can act as administration. Then we have your step-up transformers and power lines, which are integral to the build but often overlooked. These power lines by Kaladi are a great way to distribute power around the map. Laying out your power lines is pretty simple. The longer the distance the electricity has to travel, the higher the voltage is stepped up to reduce power loss due to resistance. 800 kilovolt power lines, or ultra-high voltage lines, aren't very common and are a relatively new way to distribute power. Corridors of these would be used to run electricity through very long distances, such as a country. For our purposes, we're going to have 2 separate step-up transformers, one for a 400 kilovolt or extra high voltage corridor, and one for a 275 kilovolt or high voltage corridor. Revo's railway power substation looks great as a step-up transformer, but you could also use this other substation with a few props removed using the Prop It Up mod, depending on the look you're going for. The 400 kilovolt lines will stretch across the state, province, or region, while our 275 kilovolt lines will be used more locally. The last step is the detail. Some parking lots and a good amount of foliage can go a long way in bringing your plant to life. Don't forget to add a fence and security checkpoint around your plant too, as well as some coastal protection if you want to stay safe. To go a step further, add some dry cask storage units for spent fuel rods, and perhaps some extra cooling ponds. Thanks for watching! For future content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you'll know when we're out with another video for you.